The night sky is supposed to be the one thing that never changes. The same stars your grandparents saw, the same stars the Romans saw. A fixed ceiling, painted once and left alone. 4 times in recorded history, that ceiling broke. On the 4th of July in the year 1054, court astronomers in China looked up and found a star that had not been there the night before. It was in the horns of Taurus, and it was impossibly bright. Brighter than Venus. Bright enough to see in full daylight. In the middle of the afternoon, for 23 days. They called it a guest star, and they wrote it down carefully because that is what they did. It burned in the night sky for nearly 2 years before it slowly faded away. Halfway around the world, in the desert of what is now New Mexico, someone may have painted it on a rock wall. A crescent moon, and beside it, a star. Nobody who saw it had any idea what they were looking at. We do. Point a telescope at that same spot in Taurus tonight, and you will find a torn, glowing cloud of gas, still expanding 1,000 miles every second. We call it the Crab Nebula. It is the wreckage. It is what is left of a star that was 6,500 light-years away and ran out of fuel and collapsed and tore itself apart. Which means that by the time those astronomers saw it, the star had already been dead for 6,500 years. They were watching an old catastrophe arrive. 5 centuries later, it happened again. November 1572. A young Danish nobleman named Tycho Brahe was walking home in the evening when he looked up at Cassiopeia and saw a star that should not exist. He was so certain of his own mistake that he stopped strangers on the road and made them look, just to be sure his eyes were lying. They were not, and that new star quietly demolished 2,000 years of belief, because everyone knew then that the heavens were perfect and unchanging. Everything that decayed, everything that was born and died, belonged down here, below the moon. Tycho published a small book about the thing he had seen, and its title said everything. Stella Nova, concerning the new star. The sky, it turned out, had a history. It could do something it had never done before. 32 years later, in October of 1604, another one. Kepler watched it from Prague, brighter than every star in the sky, and it hung there for 18 months. And then something quietly extraordinary happened. 5 years after that star faded, Galileo pointed a telescope at the sky for the first time. We had finally built the instrument. We had finally learned what we were looking at, and the sky went silent. 400 years. 4 centuries of better and better eyes, of glass and mirrors and satellites, of astronomers who would trade almost anything to see one. And in all that time, not a single star in our galaxy has exploded where we could watch it happen. Almost. Around 1680, a star did die in our galaxy, in Cassiopeia, in almost the same corner of sky as Tycho's. Its light reached the Earth, it crossed over a continent full of astronomers, and as far as anyone can tell, nobody noticed. No record, no book. There was probably dust in the way, dimming it into something unremarkable. We only found the wreckage in the 1940s as a hiss on a radio telescope. The most violent event in the sky happened above Europe, and history simply missed it. It should have. A galaxy like ours is thought to produce 2 or 3 of them every 100 years. We are not overdue by a little. We are overdue by a lot. In 1987, we got close. A star died in a small companion galaxy 160,000 light-years away, and for the first time in history, we saw one with modern instruments. 3 hours before the light arrived, detectors buried deep underground caught a whisper of ghost particles passing through the Earth, 24 of them in 13 seconds. The star had sent word ahead, but that was a neighbor galaxy. Our own is still waiting, and here is the part that is difficult to hold in your head. Somewhere out there, the star has already exploded. Whatever it is, wherever it is, if it is going to happen in your lifetime, it happened centuries ago, and the flash is already on its way. It is crossing space tonight while you sleep. It has been traveling since before you were born, and nothing in the universe can arrive ahead of it. There will be an ordinary evening, some year, and someone will walk outside for something forgettable and glance up and stop. A new star, where there was none. They will remember exactly where they were standing. They will remember the date. The people in China wrote theirs down. The 4th of July, 1054, not a legend, a date and a sky on a night that turned out to matter. Every night has one. A precise arrangement of stars above one place on Earth that will never repeat. With SkyWhen, you can find the exact sky over any night of your life. The night you were born, the night everything changed. See your sky at skywhen.com.